Right, so we've got round 4, heat 3. This is the final round of heats in this year's British Rental Kart Championship, the 10th edition. It's really shaping up to be quite a tussle here. There's a lot of people who are laying claim to a place in the final. A lot of people losing points, a lot of people gaining points where weren't expected. So far in this final round, the last chance really for people to get enough points to get into the semi-final. We've seen some desperate moves and we've seen some really sterling performances. In this next race, we're going to be having some of our sort of previous favourites as well. Wojciech Zerb is in here, Tim Dawson, Ruben Boutons, the 6 times British champion, is in this one too. Gary Jones, Ryan Smith, Regis Goslan, Remy Drazga, Dominic Muir, Lucas Niroda and Jarni Verbreken is in this one as well. So we're looking down the line. There's Remy Drazga there and there's Regis Goslan. Now Regis has been a long time competitor in karts, taken 3 years out doing motocross. Now he's back into karts, the World Championship in his sights this summer. There's Gary Jones. He's finding the opposition tough, but putting in solid performances, as we know to expect from him. That's like Dominic Muir there, and this is, of course, is Ruben Boutons. Ruben Boutons, the double world champion. These days regarded as the benchmark in terms of who to expect results from and a challenger in any event. He has so many trophies, so many championships to his name. He really is the benchmark. The 6 times British champion, going for 7 this year, although it has been said by many that this is his toughest year by far and the biggest challenge he's ever had to face. So back with Remy Drazga, and in front of him that looks like Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith, the Scotsman, just getting something checked out on his kart there, and there we are. That team there, AOE. Let's have a look, and who have we got in front? We'll be getting these numbers with some of these drivers sorted out just as soon as they come up on screen. But I think that might be Lucas Niroda, who's right in front of us. Yeah, Lucas Niroda in the blue suit is there ready. He's going to be one of the earlier qualifiers. Now, Ruben Boutons is going to be near the tail of the lineup when they go out to qualify. They literally do run in this order. There's not really any overtaking in the qualifying itself. They're pretty much in their own space. So Ruben Boutons, what the most likely pole sitter here, is going to be one of the last qualifiers, second to last. So it's going to be very interesting indeed. Other potentials for the pole position come from Wojciech Zerb, come from Regis Goslan and Remy Drazga and Jarni Verbreken, former Belgian champion. There's a kart being removed from the lineup, so they do sort of cycle the karts around during the event, and they've just taken that one out of the equation. That was one that was at the very front. I think it's Wojciech Zerb who's going to lead the way. I'll obviously double check when we're out there.
So 21 was going to be Tim Dawson's kart. Is he getting another one? Or
is Tim Dawson a non-starter even?
There you go. That might be the issue.
Yeah, for some reason Tim Dawson's a non-starter, and we'll find out about that later on. So not necessarily just cycling the kart out of the equation, to keep everything fresh. Actually, Tim Dawson looks like he's a non-starter. Well spotted there, Spanners. Now, they're out on their outlaps, and the first one out, of course, was Wojciech Zerb. And Wojciech Zerb is leading the way down the back stretch. He's going to begin his qualifying lap at the end of this lap here. So there he is round the crane corner. There was Lucas Niroda, brother, of course, of Patrick Niroda, we saw earlier on winning. There's Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith is going to be the 3rd one to set qualifying time. It looks like Remy Drazga is following him. And then, of course, Regis Goslan. So Wojciech Zerb is on his qualifier now. And over the line, there's Gary Jones. And there's, on screen there, that was Remy Drazga. Now here comes Wojciech Zerb, one of the 2 racing Zerb brothers from Poland. Both of them winners this weekend already. There's Ryan Smith, and here comes Remy Drazga. The checker flag is out. So Wojciech Zerb is on the pole at the moment. 31.5 is very fast. Lucas Niroda into 2nd. Ryan Smith and now leapfrogs up to 2nd, but Wojciech Zerb is still like half a second away. Remy Drazga's 2nd, but he's been pushed down by Regis Goslan. It's still Wojciech Zerb, Gary Jones into 5th, Dominic Muir into 4th. That's a good show by Dominic Muir. Ruben Boutons, the reigning British champion and double world champion, is only 4th. He's been out-qualified by Remy Drazga and also Regis Goslan and Wojciech Zerb. But Ruben Boutons, my goodness,
Right,
This is the biggest struggle we've seen in any BRKC.
Which, see, James, I'm not celebrating because I don't like Rubin. I'm celebrating because knowing he's fourth means we're going to have a really good race. So I'm like, yes, he's fourth. We're going to see him coming through.
Well, Ruben Bouton's one of the favourites for this race. He has won it 6 times. He is going for 7th, but my goodness me, this is really hard work this year. You see, with the elevated standard, it seems this year, the standard's really high. The situation is that Ruben, when they qualify through to the semi-final is literally the right to continue scoring, and then when they are in the final itself, they make the kart draw based on points positions going in. So if you want to pick your favourite kart, for whatever reason that might be, if you're picking first, that's really good. If you don't get to pick first, if you're picking 5th, maybe someone else will pick it instead. And that is what the likes of Rubens are basing this on. So it's all with an eye on the final. So as they go around, it is Wojciech Zerb leading the way. The start has been good. He's got Regis Goslan chasing him. Drazga is in 3rd. Ruben Boutons is in 4th, as per the starting order. And Dominic Muir is 5th. And Dominic Muir is chasing down the reigning British champion and double world champion Ruben Boutons. Even he would barely believe this, as some pushing behind going on. I think Gary Jones getting a good old thump there from Lucas Neroda. A bit of a gap opening up, and the tail, of course, is it Verbraeken at the tail? Yeah, Verbraeken.
Like when you said, of course, I'm like, no, it's Verbraeken.
Yeah, Verbraeken is at the tail there. Now, as we come out of the snail there, down the backstretch, it is, of course, Zerb leading the way. Zerb leads from Regis Goslan, then Remy Drazga, then Ruben Boutons. Now, Ruben Boutons is playing about the most aggressive waiting game that you could think of. He's probably not going to pit. He's certainly not going to attack yet, unless a gap appears between Drazga and Goslan. Certainly Ruben Boutons in 4th place there in the blue suit will be looking at the leader, Wojciech Zerb, and considering whether he's pulling away or not. That will affect either his strategy, his racecraft, his thinking. There's a little bit of a gap opening up now. Ryan Smith is trying to challenge Dominic Muir, who is the one behind, albeit with a bit of a gap now, Ruben Boutons, the reigning British champion. So there's a close one. Boutons through Crane Corner there as they go past the start line. It's Wojciech Zerb, Regis Goslan, Remy Drazga, Ruben Boutons, Dominic Muir, Ryan Smith, Gary Jones, Lucas Neroda, Janne Verbraeken. But in the pits,
it is Verbraeken there, who was, as you say, in 10th place. So not too much to lose, and hopefully running on his own he can do a bit better, because I don't feel like that was his natural position in the race. Yeah, he definitely got... he was in quite a contest there with Lucas Neroda and Gary Jones. They're pretty fighty, but here's Ruben Boutons, a really good close-up. Their cool style there of the Dutchman. Has been winner of many championships, including 6 of them here at Formula Fast and the British Championship. He's twice been world champion as well. He was deposed last year by Michael Schottler, who is also racing. We're going to see him soon, the German Schottler. But Ruben Boutons is the one we're looking at the moment. He is 4th in this race. 1.6 seconds now behind Wojciech Zerb as they go down the back stretch. That, of course, is where the mysterious patch was earlier, Spanners, but that seems to be no problem at all. Oh, they'll sing songs and tell tales of that patch for years to come. Yes, I'm wondering, is it Patch Corner or is it Boutons Corner from yesterday, if you remember? Well, no, let's stick with Patch Corner. Patch Corner. Yeah. Okay, and, well, Boutons, we mentioned him. Boutons we're looking at, there he is in the blue suit. He's running 4th still at the moment. It's Remy Drazga he's working on. Now, it looks like Ryan Smith has got past Dominic Muir, so Ryan Smith is going to try and close down Ruben Boutons. Now, Ryan Smith, points-wise, is probably out of the event. There's a contact warning for Gary Jones. He has been in repeated shenanigans. There he is in the red suit. He and Lucas Neroda have been hard at it near the tail of the field. Ruben Boutons is working his way around, but the next one through should be Ryan Smith. Yeah, there's the Scotsman, Ryan Smith. And there is Dominic Muir and then Gary Jones. So Dominic Muir has been pushed out of position by Ryan Smith, and he's now under attack by Gary Jones. There's Ryan Smith, the Scotsman. It's a fair gap back behind Ruben, though, isn't it? So it is. Mr. Boutons to me, sorry. Yeah, so I don't think he's going to be under pressure from that point of view. It's just how far away is he willing to let the leaders get? Not very, I think, but he, of course,
one of the finest racing brains. Now, we were talking earlier on that, was it Logan Sune was getting information from the pit wall, and it was from Ruben Boutins.
Yeah, no, that's unfair. I've seen Boutins coming down here into the pit lane, giving hand signals, giving instructions. That's an unfair advantage.
Yeah, the leader of Blue Star Racing Team 1 is Ruben Boutins at this event. He's now really working on the back of Remy Drazga. I think we're going to see either a passing move or a pit stop very soon from Ruben Boutins. If you look out the side there, Spanners, you'll see that Wojciech Zerb is now increasing his lead. Regis Goslan is pulled away from Drazga as well. So Ruben Boutins now really needs to get past Drazga if he's going to be a factor in the win of this race. Drazga's going for that middle line back stretch. We've already been talking about that in the previous race. The middle line is just a kind of a discouraging line. Yeah, a bit blocky, but will Boutins come in? No, he doesn't.
No, looking behind, like, is he going to pop out somewhere awkward? That's the problem, isn't it? Is he going to pop out behind 13?
Yeah, I'll have a look at the time. Yeah, he would come out absolutely alongside Lucas Neroda. That would be a bad idea.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No, that would be a bad idea. In fact, well, the time's just reset. He would be a little bit ahead, but he'd be behind Gary Jones. Behind Gary Jones, but close to him, so that would be a problem as well. He's probably better at this stage following Remy Drazga than he's following Gary Jones and Dominic Muir. And that will be something that Ruben Boutins, I'm sure himself, will know. A lot of these drivers at this level, they know exactly what's going on right the way around the track. There are sort of boards around the track giving positions. Also, the likes of Ruben Boutins will be looking across the track.
Yes, I was going to say, I bet Ruben's got a point where he knows that's the 10-second point.
Absolutely, he knows what's in that area, and at the moment in that area is Gary Jones, Dominic Muir, and he'll probably at the very least wait until he is clear 10 seconds of Dominic Muir, Gary Jones, because then there's about a 5-second gap up to Ryan Smith, who isn't slow. And Ryan Smith is actually the one following him now, so it really isn't near anything, you know. So that gap, it's ahead of those two who've just gone out of shot that Ruben Boutins wants to get into. I think we'll see that gap go to just over 10 seconds, maybe 11, 12, then Boutins coming in, because I don't think he's going to pass Drazga on merit unless Drazga, you know, just kind of a little unforced error somewhere and Boutins has a clear shot. We do see Boutins get aggressive though sometimes, so we'll see if that does play a part, but I reckon it's he's waiting for that Muir and Jones. Now Jones is now 10 seconds behind, so it may well be in the next 2, possibly 3 laps that we see Boutins pits if he doesn't take Drazga on the track.
Okay, so in the last race, as they were approaching Patch Corner, you could see Manley really weaving, being aggressive, putting his nose in, trying to intimidate, force a mistake. Boutins does nothing until he does something, so it's quite binary, so it could just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's a bit of the killer shot is Boutins. I mean, we saw that on Selina Balnegger yesterday. It didn't work for Boutins, he ran wide, but it was like nothing, bang, wasn't it? And in fact, if I remember back in 2014, that was the exact move he put on his sister, Annalene. Annalene was leading the final, Ruben Boutins' sister, and Ruben Boutins actually took the lead from her in that corner and went on, won the whole championship and £1,000. So as I've said a few times since, that was probably a very quiet drive home back to Holland.
Well, he did it last year as well, didn't he? He did it into the same corner in the final.
It is pretty much his corner. That is, he's been pretty moved. In fact, the only time a Boutins move hasn't worked on someone was Selina Balnegger yesterday, and she was able to come back on him and get the position back. So I reckon now the window is starting to open up for a Ruben Boutins pit stop. If he cannot pass Remy Drazga, now might be the time to pit, because he is 11 seconds clear of the Muir-Gary Jones battle for 6th place, which he would want to avoid, and we're allowing on average about a 10-second for a good pit stop.
Still interesting though, because I think even then he's still looking at 3rd place in this race, and you've got people who have you've got someone who's won 3 races, you've got people who've picked up 2 race wins, so you know he's not guaranteed to be right up the front in the final.
No, he's not at all. I think this is his hardest BRKC he's had. He is 11 seconds. I mean, here we are talking Spanners. We are imparting strategy advice to Ruben Boutins of all people.
Listen to us.
What I must stress is in the commentary box here, I am merely speculating rather than advising in this situation. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised to see Ruben Boutins in the next couple of laps. He's got enough space to do it, and he's not really making inroads on Drazga. But he's not coming in, Spanners. He obviously knows something that we don't, which is no surprise. But this is very interesting and probably a little bit of a lesson to us all.
Watching a battle between Dominic Muir here and the now pitting Gary Jones. Gary Jones decides to come out from behind the exhaust of Muir, and he comes out clear on his own.
Yeah, and he's come out behind his early race nemesis, which is Lucas Niroda. So that could lead to further fireworks, maybe. Okay, so it's still Drazga, it's still Boutons. Boutons is not pitting yet. He's 12 seconds ahead of Dominic Muir, and now it's coming into the situation if someone's coming in the pits.
Yeah, we've got a visitor here in the pits. It's Dominic Moore, so he's trying to cover up that earlier Gary Jones pit stop, and it's going to be really tight. So here's one for you to watch, if you like. Up.
Yeah, he's coming out, and he's been passed by Jones across the start line.
It's a big gap as well, so well done, Jones.
And in fact, it's Jones, Muir, Verbraeken in quite close contact. There's Jones on screen, there's Muir, there's Verbraeken, and that is the battle at the tail of the field. I wonder how close they are to Lucas Niroda. I think it's a reasonable distance, but it might not be if Niroda's yet. Yeah, Niroda's yet to pit. I think Niroda will come out in the middle of that lot, and we're going to have a battle at the back.
Can't wait.
But if you look at it up at the front, Drazga is still holding off Ruben Boutons, and it's gosh damn stretch. Drazga goes defensive. Boutons to the outside, no passing going on there. 10 minutes to go. Ruben Boutons is now he's staying out. Ryan Smith is 7 seconds behind the leader. Is actually only 2 seconds behind. Actually, I've been reading it slightly wrong, I think, because Ruben Boutons, if he came out now, came in the pits now, he would only be 1 second ahead of Niroda, maybe 2 now. So maybe now the real pit window is opening to Ruben Boutons. I believe I was maybe reading it wrong. I was considering the leader, which is normally the position I think of with Ruben Boutons, and that's why I was sort of reading it slightly wrong myself.
James, don't be so hard on yourself. Reading is very hard.
It is. I'm not used to reading anyone other than Ruben Boutons when I'm talking about a race that he is in. But when you consider he's actually 5 seconds now away from Wojciech Zerb, which means with Lucas Niroda now 18 seconds away from Zerb, Ruben Boutons could come out of the pits now comfortably ahead of Lucas Niroda, which is what he wanted to do. So that pit stop window now has opened again, reference Niroda. Ryan Smith is only 2 seconds behind Ruben Boutons, so it would be quite a big hole he came out into, but he's clearly trusting Remy Drazga, trusting the pace of the Polish driver in front of him.
Well, it's interesting because Drazga is defending moves that aren't coming. It's almost like Drazga is defending from the ghost of Boutons' future, isn't it?
Yeah, and we will see. We will see. There is Ruben Boutons we're looking at, the 6 times British champion. Remy Drazga is getting pretty racy down the backstretch. He's really not interested in Boutons making a move. He knows he's there for sure. In comes Ruben Boutons.
Okay, he's in, so he's had enough of that, and I think the looming Ryan Smith may have been a factor as well. You would expect this to be a near-perfect pit stop by his standards at 99%, but he's clear now, and you've got to think he's going to have the pace to leapfrog Drazga.
Yeah, and of course, that will be the whole point of the pit stop span as well. Drazga's he's looking this way and that, and he actually catches the ball. Drazga looking for Ruben Boutons. He didn't know he pitted. He looked to the outside, couldn't find him, so looked to the inside. In comes Drazga.
Yeah, he's in. He's trying to cover this off, and that is what he had to do. This was his only opportunity, I think, to fend off Boutons. And Boutons isn't as close as I would expect, and I think he's going to hold it, you know.
He could. It's going to be the snail. It's going to be Drazga. Oh my goodness. Ruben's got to make the lunge down the inside. He's going to make it. He's going for the inside. He's going for the outside. He can't make it work. And Ruben's the inside. Boutons done it. No, yes he is. He's on the inside. Somehow he cut to the inside of Drazga coming out of the snail. He's made it work. Only Ruben Boutons could have done that. Well, look at this defensive line down the back stretch there. He's got Drazga blocked out. Ryan Smith is in.
Yeah, Ryan Smith's in. This could be significant as well if they've taken enough time out of each other.
Yeah, where's he going to come out? He's coming out in the middle of the group. Oh, look at that. He's got Drazga to his outside. Drazga trying to go around the outside. This is to Boutons' benefit, and Drazga's been blocked out by Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith has got in between Drazga and Boutons, and that is incredible because before the little set of pit stops started, Ryan Smith, the Scotsman, was about 2 or 3 seconds behind this pair. So what a performance there by the Scotsman, Ryan Smith. He's taken big time advantage of that. And the net loser there is this one, Remy Drazga, we're looking at on screen.
Do you know how I know that I'm not a racer? Okay, because I'm looking at that and going, don't say it too loudly, but had Drazga just waved Rubens by on, say, lap 3, he'd be in 4th place now. instead of 5th.
What we're seeing is some of the most amazing racing in the world.
Pit.
The indoor, oh yes, in the pits.
So we've got the leader, we've got Gerb coming in, and this should be a fairly relaxing pit stop. It's a brilliant pit stop actually, and he's out well in the clear.
Yeah, he is, and Wojciech Gerb continues out of the pits there. Regis Goslan assumes lead. My goodness, when we have the excitement to a level in a race and it doesn't involve Regis Goslan, we haven't mentioned him at all yet, and we're 26 laps in. I can't think of that ever happening in the past before.
Yeah, he's second. He's second.
Yeah, Regis Goslan was second all the way. Now he's in the lead. Wojciech Gerb, in comes Goslan.
Yeah, so he's going to come out comfortably behind Gerb, I think. Not close enough to have a sniff, but close enough to know that he is at least in sight of the leader.
And incredibly, he's comfortably ahead of Ruben Boutens. All those laps behind Remy Drazga have hurt Ruben Boutens, I think. Remy Drazga has been excellent. He's been carrying amazing speed, but the pair of them have fallen away from the two leaders, Gerb and Goslan. The Gerb in question here is Wojciech. Ryan Smith has managed to get between them somehow. That was a bit of a Jamie Henderson sort of mystery appearance there, wasn't it, by Ryan Smith?
Yeah, it was coming, it was looming. You called it quite early on.
Yeah, it was very strange. But and he's staying there. It's not like he's out of place. But Ruben Boutens is up to 3rd place now. But this is not the result he was looking for from this race. I'm sure he knows he's under more pressure than ever. If ever there was a year that Ruben Boutens could be defeated here at Formula Fast, it's this year. But you know what? There's something slightly sad about seeing such a great champion struggle.
Well, you might be in a minority there, James, to be honest. I'm sure there'll be a few people thinking, look, this is great that he's got a real fight on his hands.
Yeah, probably the number one thinker of that will be Selena Balnega, who's top of the points, you know, going into this round. The only one with a clean score of 30 out of a possible 30. So, yes, but certainly Ruben Boutens, you know, it's a great salvage job if it's not a win, isn't it? 3rd place. Yeah. Although Regis Goslan, what a performance. Regis Goslan is back into karting this year, having had a few years out in motocross. I believe he's going to be continuing with motocross in Belgium, but he's returning to karting, including the World Championships. He's already stated his claim. I'm assuming, being the World Championships, he's probably already got an entry in. So Regis Goslan there in 2nd place. Wojciech Gerb is about to come into view, I think, on screen. There's Gary Jones. Who's next? Is that... No, it's not Gerb. That's Gerb. And next up should be Goslan. And there is Gerb. He's closing in on Jan-Ove Breken, the former Belgian champion. Goslan is coming out of view. There's Wojciech Gerb. Wojciech Gerb turning in at the end, and he's got quite a healthy lead, hasn't he? It's 3.2 over Regis Goslan, but it doesn't look that. Wojciech Gerb, sorry, that's 17. That is Dominic Muir. Dominic Muir is on the screen. That was my mistake there. Wojciech Gerb is in the number 8, but very similar colour scheme. So Wojciech Gerb is crossing the line now. There's Wojciech Gerb, and here comes the second, Regis Goslan, and Wojciech Gerb there. Round the snail, here comes Goslan. Now that's the gap, 1st to 2nd. It's a bigger gap to Ruben Boutens behind them. Wojciech Gerb looking at the screen, which is next to the camera. You can see he really leant out there to have a look.
James, when you were a racing driver, what colour was your outfit?
Do you know what? I dislike you even more, Spanners, because when you were a racing driver, I'm technically still a racing driver, albeit in a dragster at the moment. Yeah, I've been racing 30 years. What colour was my what?
Well, you called it an outfit earlier, so
I've been in competition for 34 years, so I've raced with every colour you can think of. I mean, name a colour apart from purple.
Blue.
Yes, I've raced in blue. I was racing in blue in the USA when I came 2nd in the championship in Legends.
Put me on the spot there trying to think of a colour. It's harder than you think.
Yes, it's, well, at least you went for a primary colour, didn't you? Anyway, Wojciech Gerb is in, talking of primary things, he's in the primary position, which is 1st. There he is on screen going around the final corner. He's been chased down by Regis Goslan, who pretty much looks like he's in a solid 2nd place now. Ruben Boutens, I don't think we've ever said this before, is in a solid 3rd, and he's 4 seconds behind Goslan. So there's Goslan, and it's a 4-second gap back. Now there's Gerb, and here is Goslan. Now on the inside there, that was Boutens. That was quite an interesting shot. You've got someone in the pits.
Yeah, we've got a late stop for Naroda there. He's looking over his shoulder. I think he was hoping he was going to be competitive with Moore, but he's behind him, but comfortably not interfering with the leaders.
That's it, and that is Naroda, the brother Patrick Naroda we've seen win. This is Lucas Naroda who we're looking at, and at the moment he's actually running in ninth.
Do you have a favourite Naroda as well as a favourite Gerb?
Well, I don't actually have a favourite Gerb.
Wow.
I was going to... I mean, of course, Lucas would be straight up here to probably deck me if I was to say Naroda the lesser, but Naroda the other is Patrick, and he has been doing some winning, as opposed to brother Lucas, who is in ninth. So this is the other brother, shall we say. Meantime, the other Gerb, Wojciech, is actually going to do some winning here, because he's in what's looking like a very believable lead over Regis Ghostland. Regis Ghostland there is in second, with Ruben Boutens in third place. So what a performance there by Wojciech Gerb. Here he is on screen now. There he is in the number 8, on to the backstretch. He's got the length of the straight in the lead. So there is Gerb with the lead. That's the lead he's got over the Belgian Regis Ghostland, who's turning into Bouten's corner there. Regis Ghostland really with that European lean-out style.
It might be worth having a look at Drazga, because he's getting pretty fighty behind Smith. I don't think he's happy. There's lots of contact going into the last corner nearly every time.
Yeah, because Drazga was actually in a battle for third place, and now he's fighting to get out of fifth. And there's Drazga in the yellow. So that's the one you were talking about, Spanners. The red of Ryan Smith, the Scotsman, versus the yellow of the Polish driver, Remi Drazga from Szczecin in Poland. So there's Ruben Boutens. He's quite there, serene in his third place. Here comes the battle behind for fourth. It's Ryan Smith, the Scotsman, and there is Remi Drazga, the Polish, as they come around the final corner. We're on the last lap now. It's the last lap for another pole. Wojciech Gerb, a champion of Poland in his own right. Wojciech Gerb, he's leading the Belgian Regis Ghostland. So the Regis Ghostland clearly from the French part of Belgium. As they, in fact, he's from Jumet in Belgium, and there's Ruben Boutens from Rotterdam. Ruben Boutens, Rotterdam. But here's the checker flag. It's Wojciech Gerb. I'm not even going to pronounce the city he's from. Regis Ghostland from Jumet, and here's Ruben Boutens, the Rotterdam-based driver. The checker flag comes out for Ryan Smith, and then Remi Drazga. Ryan Smith, of course, he's from West Barnes, which I believe is Edinburgh way, isn't it? It's close to Edinburgh.
James, it's Vasekia. It's a very famous town, Vasekia. That's where Gerb's from.
What is Vasekia?
That's where Gerb's from, the town that you were too scared to say.
Did you actually make that up, or have you spoken to a Pole?
How dare you? No, I just made it up.
So, given that all the trouble we've had over a 5-letter word like Gerb, we managed to get his name, his town with many letters in one go.
Let's see if we can tell you what.
Spanners, we're going to go down the pit lane with you, and you've got a great set of interviews there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely want to catch up with Gerb there as well. I don't know if Ruben's will want to chat. We chatted to him last time round. I want to speak to Ryan Smith as well, because that was quite a stealth performance, wasn't it, to sneak up into fourth place? Or fifth? He ended up fourth, didn't he? It was a great performance. I don't think we've spoken to him yet. Good battles going on all throughout the field there as well. The front two simply disappeared. So not the great adventures we've had from Groslin. He's on his way there, taking his helmet off. Let's have a look around. Congratulations going around. Boutens acknowledging that battle there that he had with Gerb. Congratulating Gerb, I beg your pardon, as he ends up in an unfamiliar third. So let's speak to our race winner. Oh, he started making his way over to me, and then he stopped. He's been accosted by Lewis Manley. Shall I just give Lewis the mic? Give Lewis the mic. Hopefully Ryan Smith will come over as well. Hopefully Ryan Smith will come over as well. Help me out. How do you pronounce your name properly?
Yes. Number 8 is very fast card. I am very good qualification. I am very speed.
You are very speed. No, that's absolutely true. You've got a race win. I've got a medal for you here. So that's a race win for BRKC. Congratulations. And just help me out. How do you say that? Your town name? Vidichka. Yeah, that's what I said. See, I said it, James. Congratulations. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Ryan Smith. Ryan, I wanted to chat with you there, because it looked like you were so far off the back of that battle for fourth place, and in the end, like, you took it when the chance came.
Yeah, I could see once I got past Dominic, I think it was, I got past him, I could see that Ruben was trying to get past Remy. He was going a bit defensive, so I thought if I could put the laps in, I managed to get the times down 10th by 10th, and they pitted, I got close and I saw them fighting on the way out. I was going to try and stay out longer, but I saw the Ruben had got past. I thought, right, now they maybe held each other up enough. So I tried to get past. I came right out in between them. It would be nice to get Ruben, just because it's Ruben, but...
That would have been a nice feather in your cap, wouldn't you?
It would have been. It's not been a very good weekend, so that would have been a definite highlight. But just to be mixing it with those guys is pretty good, so yeah.
Absolutely, in the commentary we were very excited about that race for you, Ryan. Well done, great racing there. To get up into a field like that and find yourself in the mix with Ruben Boutins and Remy Drasga, beat one of them, finish up in 4th place. I hope that's some consolation for Ryan this weekend. Back up to you, James, for the next heat.